Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of The Witcher 3. So we left off last time here on the island of Faro in the village of Harviken, I want to say? Harviken, yes. Finally getting some of the names here in Skellige correct. It's been a while, but, you know, at some point you gotta learn the names, right? Okay, so there's just a couple of places of interest that we can still explore here on this island. Let's just get these done, and then I really haven't planned what I was going to do next, but we'll see. Just go where the Skellige wind takes us. Alright, so this place of interest over here. What is this one going to be? Looks like some kind of a abandoned woodcutter's lodge. Oh, it's like beneath me. Okay, I guess I will check that out in a bit. There's actually a side quest right here as well. So, let's do this one first, I suppose. Got a crowd of people. Oh, someone's dueling.
So, no one else dares face me.
What you can spare me is your lips, Sven. Enough of this talk.
Skellige who can defeat me.
Wench is mad. Shouldn't have killed him. Sven, can you hear me?
I hear you. It's just... lost me tooth.
Okay, looks like a woman is master of the arena here.
I've not seen you here before. What do they call you?
Geralt of Rivia.
I'm Juta and Dimon. No man's been found who could best me in combat.
No man, huh? Unfortunately, I don't know if you want to classify Geralt as a man, but technically he is. He's not a pure human, but I suppose he is a male witcher, as if there are any female witchers. No, there aren't any, just in case you were wondering.
Will you fight me?
I've heard of you. 'Twas you defeated Olaf the Bear, right?
That's me.
If that's so, you'll make a worthy opponent.
Okay, then let's do it.
Ready when you are.
Then let's start. May Freya choose the victor.
I don't really pray to Freya, but okay, if that what makes you happy. Okay, so Juta undimmed. Oh my gosh, she just took a lot of damage from that parry. Jesus. Yeah, I don't think she stands much of a chance here. She doesn't have a lot of defense. That's just way too strong.
Enough! Oh gods!
Not surprised you have a hard time finding worthy opponents.
In the end, one came along. Where'd you learn all that?
At a Witcher school in Kaer Morhen.
At Kaer Morhen.
Kaer Morhen? That's terribly far. But you learned a great deal on the road as well, surely. Would you tell me about it?
It'd make for a long story.
All right. We need a quiet spot, some good mead, and... what do you say?
Looks like we're gonna have a quote-unquote conversation over dinner. Okay.
Gladly. See you at the inn?
Too rowdy. Come to my home in Harviken. I'll be waiting after dusk.
See you later then.
She could have veiled that proposition a bit better than that. I mean, come on. I mean, okay, it's an invitation, I suppose. All right, we will visit Juta and Dimon a little later. For now, I want to check out this place of interest here. I was actually kind of surprised how much damage I was just doing with these iris counterattacks. Didn't expect to be that strong. Maybe she just has like very, very low armor or something. All right. Okay, so looks like we got some walls that we can blow down here. Can we do this one? Ah, we can. It wasn't glowing, but we can. Witcher vision on, and look at that. Got an arbitrator artifact. Cool. Finally a new weapon. Let's just take a quick look at it, see if it's worth crafting. Arbitrator, steel sword, probably. There it is. It's got really weak damage, but it adds fire damage and gives me igni intensity. So, yeah, it's kind of like a fire elemental sword, but I think the ultimatum is a bit better than the arbitrator in that regard. If you look at the ultimatum down here, It's got more damage, it's got more fire damage, got more igni intensity. Yeah, less of the other stats, but it also has this unique ability. So yeah, I think Ultimatum is just the better version of Arbitrator in that sense. If you really wanted to go for the whole like igni fire build, I may check it out at one point, but not anytime soon, I don't think. Okay, so we've got some treasure chests here, and we got Feline Silver Sword Master Crafter. Oh, look at that. Huh. Feline, huh? We don't even have the quest for that, do we? It's weird because we haven't found the quest for any of the master crafted feline stuff here in Skellige. And we have gone through most of the merchants in this game or in this region already, so it's strange that we still don't have any of those. Look at this. Look at the sunset just like shining through this cave. Isn't that fantastic? Alright. Let's keep going here. There should be just one more place of interest here on Pharaoh, over there. Let's make a break for it. So, quick little side note, completely off topic. Well, not 100%, but like 97% off topic here. During the time I'm recording this, a huge Gwent update just hit. And let me tell you, I don't know how many of you guys play multiplayer Gwent. Probably not too many, but I would wager to guess at least a few of you. Yeah, maybe not now, but maybe in the future. A few of you will be playing Gwent because I think it's evolving into a terrific card game. Sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my time playing the game because I'm not like a huge fan of multiplayer, competitive kind of... you know, that whole competitive scene. That's why I don't play any real first-person shooters. I don't play any battle royales or even like MMORPGs. I used to play MMORPGs, not so much anymore. Yeah, that's an addiction that you don't want to have. Like, so it's always better to quit while you're ahead. Although I gotta admit, I did play it for a good maybe 10 years of my life. So
Now, you piece of filth.
let's take care of these Endrigas first before I talk more about Gwent. Oh man, okay, maybe I need to use like a golden Oreo here or something, just like the few Endrigas from last time. They were pretty deadly. Can't really let my guard down. Actually, I think better if I summon Lydia for this fight because she will be able to distract some of these while I go in for the attack. Okay. I mean, obviously our fire enchantment on the sword is really helping here. This is giving me a really big advantage. And Lydia just does her job really well. I mean, attack and back off.
Time to end this.
She learned from the best. The best was Geralt, if that wasn't clear. Maybe that wasn't that clear, because I don't know. I don't think you can call my skills the best. You can call them mediocre at best. I'm okay with that. Nah, I'm not that terrible. As much as I would like to be humble and modest in this situation, I would like to say that I'm not like the worst player. I'm a pretty decent Witcher 3 player, if I'm allowed to say that. Obviously, nowhere near as good as some other people. Like, I've seen people on YouTube like fighting griffins in their base, starter gear, and just like not even take a hit because they were so good at dodging and blocking their attacks. I was just like, whoa, no, I'm not gonna ever reach that level of gameplay proficiency. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to go down here. No choice. No way up. Okay, so this is gonna be a monster's den. Wait a minute. This place looks so familiar. It looks exactly like the entrance to the cave that we were in last time with all those Endrigas and Ericus. Reuse assets much? Okay. So that was the one harpy among all of the sirens, interestingly. Oh no, there's two harpies. Two harpies. Alright. Whenever you guys want to come, I'm here. And of course, you come down when I'm casting a sign, right? Oh, look at that. What the heck was that? It just fell out of the sky. I think the poison
How long
damage over time knocked him out of the sky? Like, what? That's pretty cool. Okay. Usually I don't bother with these guys because they're so troublesome, but they are keeping me in combat, and I want to be free of any kind of combat when I'm entering this cave, so I'm just gonna have to fight these guys for now. The warding glyph on with the Yurden sign doesn't seem to be working very well against them. It's weird. Like the warding glyph says that it's supposed to attack an enemy that's attacking me if it's within range, and that was clearly within range. Maybe it doesn't have any verticality. Alright, let's leave some of these guys. Okay, great. So I was talking about Gwent. Yeah, the game is so solid of a game right now, but I'm a little conflicted of whether or not I want to keep playing, simply because, again, I am not the huge competitive player, and in that deck, really, all I do is try to create memes. I play cards no one else ever plays. I play decks that rarely see any kind of competitive play. You know, some rogue decks might, do what I'm doing, but not in the way that I'm doing, so I'm just basically staying in the lower ranks, not being competitive at all, and just playing the game as I see fit. Obviously, by doing that, I'm losing way more games than I'm winning, but yeah, that's just the way it is. I'm just never going to get into that whole competitive scene, unfortunately. Alright, so let's take a look at this statue. Certainly is glowing. This one is glowing red. Okay, so these levers here, obviously, there's the ones that will turn these statues, and there is a specific way that you have to turn them in order to unlock this next area, which is going to be through this door. Now, I don't think I remember which way you had to turn them, unfortunately. And there's no clue as to... Well, maybe there is a clue somewhere else, but it's not in this place, I don't believe. Yeah, you have to turn these statues a particular way to unlock whatever's inside. Oh, look at this! We just got our full set for the feline set. Alright. I guess there's no quest associated with these. It's just a thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these statues. So obviously there has to be some kind of a pattern to how you're going to turn these statues. Unfortunately, I don't remember, so I am just going to basically just turn them towards the room that I'm supposed to be going into. So that seems logical enough. Let's see if I'm correct. If I'm not correct, then I'll try something else. Okay, so this one... Come on, Geralt. Pull the lever. Don't just walk around it. Okay. Let me know, guys. Do you say lever or do you say lever? Let me know in the comments. I say lever. Okay, sometimes I say lever because, because of the media. People on TV say lever a lot, but I'm a lever person. Same thing with the distinction between route and route. So R-O-U-T-E, that word. Let's see. Oh, that saved the game, interestingly. But it didn't open any doors. Yeah, so me being Canadian, I was raised to say route. I rarely say route. It's... yeah. Okay, so clearly turning them towards the room did not do it. Damn it, I wish I remembered how to do this because there's so many possibilities. Actually, no, there aren't. If I just use my Witcher senses, yeah, they glow. I think they glow yellow with the sparkles when it's turning in the right direction. I just remembered that. Yeah, I was wondering like why there's a distinction between the yellow glow and the red glow. Yeah, the way we are supposed to turn them is in such a way that they start glowing yellow with the Witcher senses. I feel like maybe, I don't know, they emit some kind of magical energy. That's why Geralt is able to sense it. That's how you would explain it lore-wise anyway. Okay. One more time. So this one was already in the right direction. I thought, wait a minute, what? What? Okay, there we go. I think that's it. Yeah, here we go. I thought it just turned, I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb. Okay, so this one... we can just keep... Oh, no. There, it's open right here. Alright. And it's not going to close after I mess it up. Okay, so let's see what we have in here. Blow up this door and treasure chest. Oh, look at that. Oh, another flawless amber. Wow, of course, of course. That is literally the only thing I'm going to be getting in terms of flawless gemstones. Ambers. Because I had to open my big mouth and say a couple episodes ago that I needed a lot of flawless ambers. Now that I don't need them, of course, they're just coming to me in abundance. That, folks, by the way, is what I just said. Is a classic case of bias on my part. I know, but just have to mention it, right? I don't remember what kind of bias it was. Was it like selection bias or confirmation bias? One of those. Yeah, I used to study rhetoric in school, and I learned like some things, including the multiple forms of bias in terms of how a person speaks. But that was like, oh my god. You know, I want to say that high school was a very, very long time ago, and it's probably an understatement when I say that. I don't know. I don't think you guys know how old I am, but I can even say that at this point, university was a very long time ago. So that might give away just a little bit about how old I am. So yeah, that rhetoric course was very fun though. I studied it in first year university, and they were talking about like the multiple forms of bias, how the multiple forms of rhetorical speech, so like the ethos, the pathos, and the logos. Obviously studied some historical figures who were really good at giving speeches, and yeah, it's a fun course. Okay, so it is nighttime. Look at that. I don't even need to do any kind of meditation. We are just going to visit Juta Undimmened right now at her home after dark, and we're gonna tell her a story. Yeah, you guys might know what's going on here. And she's on the bed in a suggestive pose. Need I say more?
So what is she to you? The sorceress, Yennefer, right?
Oh god, she knows about Yennefer. That makes things so awkward. Okay, let's talk.
Greetings.
I started to think you'd changed your mind.
I'd never miss a chance to spend a pleasant evening with you.
I don't know that I'll make for engaging company. In truth, I rarely talk to men.
Why rarely?
Rarely? Why?
Well, I don't like to waste time chatting before fights. And after them, I've none left to talk to. And now that I've finally met someone stronger, seems Freya's played a cruel trick on me.
What's Freya got to do with it?
I swore to the goddess that only he who bested me in battle would lie with me, take me as his wife, and give me children.
Yeah, Freya is very cruel. A witcher beat you. And witchers... Okay, I don't know about weddings and having a wife, but witchers can certainly not have children. Not in the normal sense, at least.
Wrong guy beat you, unfortunately.
Yes, I know, witchers aren't husband material, nor can they sire children. But it was you who bested me.
And I'm sure many warriors in Skellige are worthier of your attention than I am.
One would be enough.
Never thought of searching the other isles?
You could be right. I believe it may be time to leave Pharaoh.
Well, good luck, Juta Undimmened.
Okay, so we didn't let it happen, and I did that on purpose, by the way. Had we chose the other option that says I can help you with the first one, yeah, that would have been a very steamy evening. But you know, like, we used to fool around with other women before the Yennefer side quest, the Last Wish quest that we did. Was it last episode or 2 episodes ago? Yeah, whatever. But after that, I feel really weird just fooling around with other women in this game, because the love between Geralt and Yennefer is just so pure. You know, like they have their little quirks in their relationship, and they might not be the most iconic love pair, you know, in the history of forever, but I like their relationship, and to tarnish it by doing this, I don't know, makes me feel weird. Now, I know I'm kind of a hypocrite in saying that, because we have already you know, done things with Cantarella and Keira Metz. Anyone else? I think that's it. I think those are the only 2. There was another one, but it was with Yennefer herself, so that's fine. That's totally okay. But the quest, the events with Keira and Sasha. Oh, she's not. What was her true name? So she went by the alias Sasha, which itself is an alias for her other alias, Cantarella, and she has a real name that I don't remember. We find out later on in the story. But anyways, yeah, those 2 were before the Last Wish side quest, you know? After that one, where we had that deep bond with Yennefer, it's weird. It's very weird. But, yeah, that's just a decision I was going to make. Okay, so yeah, that's everything in Pharaoh. Juta might move on, maybe to Skellige. Skellige sure is big enough for her to maybe find someone who can best her in combat. And to be fair, she's not even that great a fighter. Yeah, that pose she was sitting on, that was the pose she was doing on the bed there. That was the same pose that they use in multiplayer Gwent for Juta. She is a card, incidentally, which is very obscure because she's such a minor character in this game. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. What should we do next? The only thing left as far as questing goes is going to be the island here, Undvik. There's going to be a couple of quests here. The Lord of Undvik being the most important one, obviously, but this quest line deserves its own episode, so I'm not going to do that this time. Instead, what I'm going to do is, I know it's a little late in the episode to be saying this, but we're going to be doing another one of those, for the rest of this episode at least, another one of those sailing around Skellige and collecting places of interest. Now, that might not be everyone's cup of tea, so I'm just going to give you a warning right now. That the rest of this episode will likely not contain too much more like Witcher 3 commentary. Instead, I'm just going to talk about some other things, mostly like gaming related. Yeah, so if you're interested, then yeah, for the next 40 minutes or so, I'll just talk about some of that stuff. If you're not, the episode is essentially over at this point. All we're going to be doing, starting from now until the end of the episode, is just collecting the places of interest over the water here in Skellige. We're going to use one of these boats here. And, yeah, that's going to be it. You have been warned, guys. Step away while you still can. Okay, so let's save the game. And obviously we're going to do what we always do, well, what we did that one time in episode 101. And set the game to, you know, the lowest difficulty. And also we are going to set the carry weight for Geralt to its maximum, because I don't really feel like, you know, going back and forth between islands just to sell off my stuff. Okay, here we go, onto this boat, very conveniently placed. And I think for this time we're just going to hit up these, let's see, which one? These ones over here, oh, actually, not the ones over here. Maybe the ones over here across this stretch of water, and then maybe down here, depending on how much time we have. Okay, here we go. So there was a patch that I installed. That's the same one that broke the Last Wish quest, by the way. But yeah, the mod author fixed that up promptly. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Where, yeah, it just, Yennefer couldn't steer the boat properly. But that patch was actually meant to make boat sailing a lot better. Like, I'm already feeling it, by the way. Like, the boat is a lot faster than what it used to be. And the controls are better. Like, it feels much more responsive than what it used to. Similar to, like, the horse riding controls, really. But with horse riding, it's a bit more awkward. Because, you know, you have to actually do horse races. There are no boat races in The Witcher 3. So, there should be. Oh, yeah, why isn't there? But anyways, yeah, so we are a lot faster on water now. Not very immersive because there's no way a little sailboat like this can just go full speed ahead whenever and however, in whatever direction you want. But hey, we're not playing this for the immersion. Oh god, stop! Oh my god, the stop key was changed. Wait a minute, what? Stop! Oh, wait a minute, what? This is weird. Hold on. Let me go back in here. Yeah, because my control switched to Xbox controls, that's why. The game does that sometimes. There is a mod that fixes that, but it doesn't really bother me that much. That's why I was trying to press X to stop, but then I was like, wait a minute. X is forward. So X on the Xbox controller is going to be this button. No, this button. Why isn't it stopping? Pressing it. Wow, that slows down very slowly. I don't know how to feel about that. Anyways, let's collect the smuggler's cash. Okay, so as far as conversation goes, why can't I dive now? Oh my god, game. I'm pressing the button. It's not diving. Yeah. Let's go back onto the boat and come back into the water. See if I can dive after that. Alright, come on, Garrow. Into the water. Dive. No, I can't dive. It's the exact same glitch that I had when I was doing that Trial of Ingvar quest, where I just couldn't dive into the water. I need to reload my game, so I will be right back. Okay, and I'm back. My controls went back to PlayStation controls. That's good. Hopefully I can dive now. There we go. Okay, I was not pressing the wrong button, by the way. It was just glitchy. So I was gonna talk about a little bit about games of my childhood. Yeah, that's the topic I came up with, and there are a few. I mean, I wasn't a huge gamer. I think I said that in episode 101. I wasn't a huge gamer as a child. I just played whatever games was available to me, and you know, oh my god, this is so bad. The drowners. Okay, there we go. There's another flawless amber for you guys. There's another one. Yeah, just to say, I'm not going crazy. I'm getting flawless ambers all over the place. So as far as I can remember, I've been playing video games since I was like, who knows, 3 or 4 years old. Very, very early on in my life. And yes, we did have access to video games back then. And one of my earliest memories of playing a game, and this is in like rural China, by the way, which sounds very bizarre because in the 20th century, in like, well, I wouldn't say, okay, it is kind of rural, but maybe I should say suburban. Yeah, it's not like in the farmlands away from all civilization. No, it's like maybe half an hour walk to real, you know, like town life or city life. It wasn't a city, it was just town. Yeah, but obviously we had electricity. No indoor plumbing, but we had electricity. And my house that I lived in back in China, by the way, was built by my grandfather. And obviously we didn't have a gaming console. That's not something our family could have afforded. But in our neighborhood, there was this one kid who owned a gaming console. I don't remember which one it was. I have no idea. Probably a Sega something, because he was playing Street Fighter and Contra on it. So, oh my god, these boat controls are so weird. I can't turn when I'm accelerating ahead. What happened to boating? Seriously. Jesus. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like, this is just bizarre. Now I can't go fast? Huh. Strange. Okay, I'm just gonna have to live with it. So yeah, once in a while I would just go by his place, play some Contra, play some Street Fighter, and it's impossible to stop, by the way. I'm turning and I'm stopping, and it's literally turning in the other way. I'm turning left right now and it's going right. What the hell? Oh, this is gonna make the process more painful than it used to. Oh man, God, I'm starting to think maybe I should just revert back to the previous patch. It'll make sailing a lot easier for me. So I just lightly tap X once. I'm not even holding it, and it's accelerating like crazy. And then I hold my square, and it takes forever to stop. Seriously, this. That's a. I'm sorry, Reaper, but that was a questionable way to patch in, you know, changes to how boats work. Very questionable. Now, of course, they're going faster, and I can give you that. But it's going faster in the worst way, because you can't turn and you can't stop. Maybe I'm just pressing the buttons wrong. Yeah, that was awful. Let me just collect this treasure, and then we can go back up. Oh God, look at that. Heavy armor, but it's okay. We have maximum carry weight, so we can just collect all this stuff anyway. Okay, back on, and obviously the sirens took a big chunk out of my boat, and like that is one of the big problems with sirens that drowners don't seem to have. Sirens destroy your boat, drowners don't care about it. Yep, here they are, just at it. Okay, let's move on to the next place of interest. This one over here. So, yeah, my friends and I would just play Contra on his Sega console. And it was like some of the best times as a kid, you know, because it's a pretty good game. Even by today's standards, I still like the game Contra. And it was a big part of my childhood. Now, admittedly, we never got past like stage 4 in that game. Because we were kids. We were like 4 or 5 years old, you know. Like, we're not going to have all the strategies to defeat the game, so obviously stop boat, stop. Oh God. Oh, what am I gonna do? Okay, so yeah, obviously we just played the way we wanted to play, and it was very fun. As far as Street Fighter goes, that's basically, I know we're Capcom, is it Capcom? Who makes Street Fighter? I don't know. I don't play arcade games at all. Like, zero arcade games. None. Maybe 5 years ago I played an hour of Dead or Alive, but that's it. I'm not in that world. I'm not in the arcade action kind of gaming world. So yeah, I know Street Fighter, they're still like making new games. So it is a very long running franchise. But the version I used to play, who knows which one it was. It was early 90s, and it was on some kind of Sega console, probably. Who knows? Hey, I was a little kid. I had no idea. Heck, I didn't speak English back then, so why would I even know what the console was called? Plus, it wasn't mine. And so yeah, that was that. And also beyond that, in terms of video gaming, my grandfather, who lived in a different city than me, we visited like maybe once every other week, so it was kind of cool. My grandfather had a computer, which I obviously didn't, and he, on his awesome Microsoft DOS operating system, had a couple of games. His favorite game was Pac-Man, the original Pac-Man for MS-DOS, and he also played... what else was there? There was this weird racing game, like where you had to kind of stay on a platform, and the platforms would kind of disappear and reappear, and you have to like choose between the middle, the left, and right. If you guys know what game that is, I don't remember what the name of that one is. Yeah, so that was a weird racing game. And let's see what else. That's really all I remember. He just plays a lot of Pac-Man. Like, my grandpa was really good at playing Pac-Man. So I just watched him play. I was never any good at it. I probably couldn't even get past stage 2 in Pac-Man. So yeah, there was that. And I remember we had to like insert these huge floppy disks into the computer, because that's how computers worked back then. Not even like the small ones, the small floppy disks that you still see sometimes, but these huge floppy disks barely fit into the palm of your hand. So those ones, and you had to insert those in order to play games. Yeah, that was fun. Oh, look at this. There's some siren got stuck on my boat and it's just stretching out. So yeah, that was basically it. In my elementary school, I was really good friends with the janitor and the chef. It wasn't exactly a boarding school, but it was a school with room and board. So for parents whose kids didn't live in the city like mine, and so yeah, I lived in the school dorms, and there were a couple of chefs, and there's this one janitor guy. I was really good friends with him, so the dude had his own gaming console in his room, the janitor's room. So between classes and maybe after school, even sometimes before school, I would just chill with him and play some games on his on his console. I think it's the same Sega console, but yeah, like that with Street Fighter and all that kind of games. Unfortunately, I don't remember many of the games. These are old school games. I don't know their names, unfortunately. So what's that game? The game where you kind of control tanks, and I really should be more careful with these fights, shouldn't I? I mean, I am on the easiest difficulty, and I have no intention of switching it back for this episode, by the way. So, yeah, that's just how it's going to be. But I'm still going to die, probably, because I'm not really paying attention. Okay, let me pay attention to this basilisk here, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, come here. Come here, you. Yeah, on the easiest difficulty, they do far less damage. I don't think you do more damage, but enemies do less damage, and they attack far less frequently. So, in this case, it's just circling me because it doesn't want to attack, apparently. Okay. Oh, here we go. Come on. Just want to get this thing over with. Oh my god. Why is it taking no damage? Or maybe it just has a lot of HP. I think that's it. That's a more likely explanation. Alright. Okay, doing pretty well. Let's bring out my exploding bows here. Boom. Oh my god. These are all strong attacks, by the way. This guy has a lot of health. Okay, there we go. 999 Quench Shield. Look at that. Okay, awesome. Let's loot some of these things. I'm not going to take the Draconian Leather. I mean, even though I can sell it, I'm not going to bother with it. Oh, okay. Alright. Another Flawless Amber. Oh my god, this game knows. I swear to god it knows. It knows exactly what I don't need and just keeps on giving me them. It's not my imagination at this point, right? I'm actually getting nothing but Flawless Ambers. Okay. Okay, is there anything else on this little island? Nope, nothing else. Okay, let's just keep going then. To this one. Okay. So yeah, chill with the janitor, and that was kind of cool. And whenever he was too busy to play with me, because obviously he has his own job at the school, sometimes I would just ask him for the key to the AV room, and I'd be like, can I borrow your gaming console for a while? And he's like, sure. I just take his console, open the door to the AV room, and then just play games in there by myself. Such a good time. I think my cousin also played with me a couple of times, but my cousin was older than me, and you know, he had other things to worry about than playing games with me. But yeah, this was way back in elementary school. I can't really seem to remember any games other than Contra and Street Fighter. Like, again, there was that one game where both you and player 2 controlled tanks, and you had to kind of like break through walls and attack their core, whatever that was called. I don't know. And then there was one where you had to like push boxes in such a way so that you push all the boxes onto the correct tiles. Oh boy, what else? Oh, I know this one. There was the Icebreakers. Was it? No, that's probably not on a Sega game. That's Nintendo, right? Yeah, I think it is. I don't know. But yeah, those were some pretty good times. And that's basically all the games I used to play in China. I left China relatively young, so beyond that, I didn't really play much else. After that, come on, let's get off. After that, our family actually moved to Australia, where I went. You know, I went for a couple of years of elementary school there. And that's where kind of like, you know, I started really video gaming, because that's when I owned my very first console, so to say. And it was a Game Boy Color, the original purple version. My friend had the yellow Pikachu version, and I was like so jealous, because that was the one I wanted, but then it wasn't on sale that day, so I wasn't able to get it. But yeah, so I got the purple version. Pokemon Blue was my very first game on a console. It was the very first video game that I owned, Pokemon Blue. And obviously, as a kid, having your own handheld video game console and having access to Pokemon, that was basically the dream, right? That's like, you know, you couldn't wish for anything else as a kid. And so I played the hell out of that game. Probably played through Pokemon Blue, I'd say nothing short of 20 times. Definitely nothing short of 20 times. And then when Pokemon Gen 2 came out, Gold and Silver, obviously had my parents buy that. And I also played that one. I would also say nothing short of 20 times, because I was a big Pokemon fan back then. My friends also played Pokemon at school, and we collected Pokemon cards. It was all good times. Unfortunately, I don't own my Pokemon Blue anymore. I lost it on a train in Melbourne, Australia, when my parents we were kind of like on vacation. It was just a trip to Melbourne. We lived in Sydney, and got onto a train, and it just slipped out of my pocket or something. Lost both my Pokemon Blue and my Pokemon Gold, and I was so upset on that day. It was crazy. Not as upset as I think I should have been, but I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't that upset from what I can remember. I should have been way more upset for losing those two games, but I wasn't. And then after Pokemon, there was my whole Zelda obsession. I played through a lot of the older Zelda games, like Oracle of Ages and Seasons, Link to the not a Link to the Past. What's it called? Link's Awakening, and yeah, mainly just the two Oracle games, because I owned Ages and my friend owned Seasons, and we just like traded game data, and you can kind of like unlock specific perks inside your game by trading data between the two games. It was really fun, and yeah, so did a lot of Zelda playing at that point. At that point, one of my family members actually gave me a gaming console. I have no idea which one it is, by the way. I don't know. As kids, I just didn't really care about what my gaming consoles were called. I just wanted to play games on them, because there were really not a lot of options back then. So it was a Sega console, I know that. And I had this like Yu Yu Hakusho fighting game. So that was really fun. I didn't discover that it was a Yu Yu Hakusho game until maybe like 15 years later, because I just played it as a game. I didn't care what it was called. It was in full Japanese. I didn't understand it. So yeah, 15 years later, I watched Yu Hakusho the anime. I was like, oh wait, these are the characters I used to play inside this game of mine. And then yeah, so there was that game that I played to death. It was just a fighting game, nothing too exciting. Where you had like these two rows, you can jump back and forth between them, and you had a bunch of characters with their special abilities. Very not very different from like something like Street Fighter actually, except the two rows thing. You can kind of hop back and forth between the two rows. I had this like weird Lion King auto-scrolling platformer. Didn't play that a lot. It wasn't that fun. Let's see, what else? Oh my god, my next door neighbor friend, he had a PlayStation 1. And I swear to god, I played more on his PlayStation 1 than I did on my own Sega console. Because some the games that his parents were buying him were ridiculously fun, you know? Okay, look, as a kid, how can you pass by the chance to play Mortal Kombat? I think it was Mortal Kombat 3 or 2 or 4, I don't know which one it was, but the one for PlayStation 1. Oh my god, that game was so good. I no longer play any Mortal Kombat games. Of course, I don't play any action games, as I said earlier. But, can we just get on the boat, please? Okay, there we go. But Mortal Kombat for the PlayStation 1, I don't know how many hours we spent, me and my next door neighbor just spent playing that game. It was definitely way up there in terms of hours. But we had so much fun playing that game. My favorite character was Fujin, and mainly because his fatality was really easy to pull off. And his favorite character was Raijin because he liked the thunder stick that Raijin and the hat. We played like tons of games together, and that was cool. We used to play the original Gran Turismo on PlayStation 1. I don't really know which one it was. Probably just one. But yeah, that game was hard for us as kids. We never even got past the driving test portion of it, let alone the races. So we were trying really hard to do the driving tests, where you had to achieve certain goals in order to unlock the next test. So yeah, we had that game, but didn't play it a whole lot because racing was too hard for us. And then comes the game that I really am still playing to this day because of how phenomenal of a game it was and how impactful it was to me as a child. This was a PlayStation 1 exclusive, and it is called The Legend of Dragoon. Basically my very first role-playing game ever. How do I get down into this place of interest here? I'll find it. So yeah, besides Pokemon, obviously, it was my first RPG, and we didn't understand the story back then. All we knew is, cool characters on the screen doing attacks and awesome music and battle animation. That's all we were thinking about back then. The Legend of Dragoon, it came in 4 discs for the PlayStation 1, and it was one long game, man. We probably spent nearly 100 hours just trying to beat it. And if you know what the game is, you know that there's this combat system called Additions in The Legend of Dragoon. And it might not seem like much, but all you had to do is time your moves in the right way, and then if you time it correctly, then you will extend the move onto the next attack, basically. And the most basic additions had only 2 moves, so you have to just time it right once, and then you had the full move. And then the more complicated ones had like 4, 5, and 6. And I remember the ones with like 6+ different additions. We just had the hardest time trying to pull off. And but then there was this one item in the game that just lets you skip all that and just lets you do full additions no matter if you time it right or not. In fact, you don't even need to press any buttons anymore. Seriously, why can I not find this thing? Where's the entrance to this boat? Okay, I'm just gonna scour the boat. Let's see. Yeah, the fact that there are drowners floating around bothering me is not helping. Is it in here? Nope, can't go in there. Not over here. Oh my god. I can't go through this hole, I tried. Okay, when I come back up again, I'll check the other side of the boat. So yeah, the item that lets you skip the additions there was one called War God's Calling. that also half the amount of, I think, MP that you got, or something like that, or maybe just made you do less damage. And then there was one called Ultimate War God, which just had no side effects, no bad effects. It just straight up lets you skip additions. The reason I remember it is because I relatively recently played through Legend of Dragoon again on my old PS1, and damn, it's a good game. I'm so upset that the game doesn't have a sequel. So upset. But it was a one-shot by Sony, and they tried to make something out of it, and I think it sold pretty well. I think it sold over 1 million copies, and it was supposed to be direct competition for Final Fantasy VII at the time. So yeah, kind of succeeded, probably not. I think they actually lost some money on that. That's why there was no sequel. Okay, I'm going to dive one last time to see if I can find whatever this thing is, and then I'm going to give up on this one, because this one is bothering me too much. Is it that chest right there? Oh my god. This has to be it. So, now of course, Legend of Dragoon was ported to the PlayStation Vita. Yeah, this is it. And I do own a PlayStation Vita right now, but I can't really justify just playing it again on that system. I already own it for the PS1. You know, I actually purchased it for myself once I got a PS1 for myself. The one that my neighbor had, it wasn't mine, obviously, and it was his. So, yeah, what I really want is either a PS4 remaster, PC remaster, or a complete remake, or a sequel. That's what I really, really want. I know it's probably never going to happen. Oh god, I didn't mean to... You see, when you can't see certain HUD elements, you just make mistakes like that. I still can't see it. I'm pressing the buttons, all the buttons. Oh, there we go. Now it appears. I wasted another swallow. Okay, it's fine. I can craft another one. Alright, on to the next one. So yes, it was between that game and Mortal Kombat that I played the most on the PlayStation 1. And it's not even a PlayStation 1 that I owned. I love those two games. Such fond memories in my childhood. And then basically we're moving on to a point where I no longer had friends who had better consoles than me, which was surprising, because now after that Pokemon Generation 3 came out, you know, Ruby and Sapphire, got my hands on a Game Boy Advance, and that was all I really could hope for as a kid at that point in time. You know, at first it was Game Boy Color with the red and blue, and then it was the Game Boy Advance with the with Pokemon Sapphire. And I still own this version of Pokemon Sapphire to this very day. It is a German edition because I was studying and living in Germany at that time. Man, sometimes I still just like put it back into my Game Boy Advance, which still works, and just take a look at the stuff that I was doing in that game. It was kind of cool. So even though I was a huge Pokemon fan, there was a slice of my life where all of my Pokemon knowledge was in German. Now, for those of you who don't play Pokemon, you might not know, but Pokemon names are different in all languages. Now, between some of the European languages, they might be very similar. But let me tell you, between Japanese and English and German names, and to some extent, well, also Chinese names, very, very much Chinese names, the Pokemon names are very, very different. Yeah, very different. You know, like the games, the Pokemon that have their own original Japanese names, they don't change that much. Like Pikachu, for example, I don't think that's different in any other languages. But for other Pokemon, like for example, Charmander, it's only called Charmander in English. It's not called Charmander or anything even like remotely similar to Charmander in other languages. You know, in Japanese it's like, what is it? Lizard something. I don't know the Japanese names. In Chinese, it's literally a direct translation of Little Fire Dragon. And in German is, God, I'm digging in my memory here. Charmander's name in German was, I think, Glumanda? I think so? Yeah, it's like, which I think is just a portmanteau of Fire Lizard. Yeah. So, yeah, the names were very different, but There was a point in my time where I only knew German Pokemon names. Now I don't know many of them. I forgot most of them. I associate to only the English names now. And yeah, I very much intend to... I'm holding down my brake button, by the way. It's nothing's working. Just in case you were wondering, like, why am I not braking? I am braking. It's not doing anything. So yeah. By the time I upload this video, Pokemon Sword and Shield probably will have already come out, and I probably would have already been playing it. I really hate the fact that they cut the national Pokedex. Ugh. Like, there are supposed to be... So, before Pokemon Sword and Shield, so before Generation 8, there were 800 and... how many were there? I think it was 807? 809 if you counted that one little weird Switch spin-off. So yeah, over 800 Pokemon. What they're doing in the new games, we don't know how many of them are confirmed just yet. You probably would know by the time I publish this video, but as of me right now, I don't know how many of those Pokemon are confirmed, but we're not going to get all of them anymore. So for all the other 7 generations of Pokemon, we've had every single Pokemon in every single game. Now, they weren't always obtainable in those Pokemon games, but the data was in those cartridges at least. You know, they were there in case you wanted to, I don't know, hack for them or some other way. You at least knew the data, the files were in the game cartridge, so you can get them somehow. But coming into Gen 8, they just straight up won't be there anymore. Nothing. There will be nothing. So let's say, I don't know, they cut half the Pokemon, so we only have 400, and then they'll add 100 more new ones. We'll only have 500. We've had 500 Pokemon since Generation 4. That's over like 13 years ago, you know? So we're going back 13 years in terms of Pokemon count. I mean, the animations and textures look a bit better, but come on. I'm not the type of player, and I wager to say most gamers, especially Pokemon players, are not the type of people who would value graphics over gameplay. And when you're cutting Pokemon out, there's this huge controversy on whether or not, you know, Game Freak, the developers for these Pokemon games, huge controversy. I don't know. I still don't know what's real and what's not, but saying that, you know, they did this on purpose. They're just lazy. They didn't want to include it. And the other side of the argument is saying, you know, they didn't have the resources to do this, and they didn't have enough time to do this. I'm just like, well, I'm not going to take sides here, but come on. I think if it's true that you didn't have the resources or time to do this, then I think the people at Game Freak should know their fan base enough that they understand that Pokemon fans value gameplay over graphics. That's just how we are. I'm very confident in saying that I can speak for Pokemon community, the entire Pokemon community, that we don't care about gameplay. We don't care about graphics all that much. It's so difficult for me to just stop at the frickin' place of interest. Oh my god. Okay, forget it. Let's just park it here and just swim. So, yeah. Don't make the animations too extravagant. Don't make the textures like super HD. We don't need all of that stuff. We would rather have every single Pokemon available in the game. Sorry. I'm just really passionate about this issue, and I don't understand why Game Freak decided to, you know, do this. In order to allocate their resources properly, they basically use up all their time creating all of these like beautiful models with beautiful animations, and there's like, oh, we ran out of time, we can't put in all the Pokemon anymore, too bad. And I was just like, yeah, who are you making these games for? The people buying them, or for yourselves? You know, like, I mean, if you're making these games for yourselves as a multi-billion-dollar company, sure, I don't buy it, but okay. You're not making these games for yourself, though. You're making these games for your Pokemon fan base, and to some extent, new players. But it's almost guaranteed that there are more existing Pokemon players than new ones with any generation of Pokemon. I don't need statistics to understand that. In fact, nowadays it's almost impossible to find someone who just on a whim decide to pick up a Pokemon game and start playing it, even though they've never played it for their entire lives. It's that's just how this franchise really is. A lot of it is made up of existing players, and because these existing players have all grown up from the time they were kids playing the original Pokemon games, I would venture to say that a very significant, I don't want to say a majority, but a significant portion of the Pokemon demographic are adults, young adults, or at least in their late teens. At least. But I would say many of them are my age, because they are the ones who grew up playing Pokemon. They are the ones who could never let it go, because, you know, it's part of their childhood, and you just want to preserve that aspect. Very much more like myself. So even though I hate Game Freak for doing this, for valuing graphics over gameplay, I'm still going to support them, because, hey, that's just my life, right? I gotta do it. There's no way I'm going to miss a Pokemon game. There's no way. Pokemon games aren't even my favorite games. Like, for example, I already said that my 3 favorite franchises are The Witcher, Persona, and Disgaea. Like, and number 4 is probably Elder Scrolls. And number 5 is probably, who knows, Final Fantasy or something. Pokemon is not, most likely not even going to be in the top 10. But as a long-standing fan, I feel obligated to play any new games. Because that's just who I am. Judge me for it if you would, but I got nothing else to say. That's just who I am. So yeah, there's that. Ooh, I didn't want to go into a heated discussion about about the controversy of these new Pokemon games, but apparently it just happened. Hey, stop, Garo, stop the boat. Okay, and you get off my boat. Thank you. Oh my god, and then I just sit back down. Alright, let's just kill this guy while we're here. And maybe this one? No? Okay. The plays of interest is all I'm interested in. Alright. If you are a Pokemon fan, let me know, and we can play Pokemon Sword and Shield together. It'll probably be too late by the time I publish this video, but still let me know. And we can play together, we can trade and battle. I don't do competitive Pokemon battles, by the way. I said multiple times in this episode, I'm not a competitive type of player. That includes Pokemon. I don't do competitive battling at all. So the whole like Smogon tier list, and I understand it. I understand the OU, UU, and PU and all those different tiers. And to some extent, I even know what Pokemon belong in those tiers. But I just don't do it. Because I think, now this is my opinion only, and some of you are going to judge me for this opinion, for sure. For sure. But my opinion is that as soon as a game becomes competitive, it becomes not fun anymore. So in other words, you kind of have like a slider, right? It's a scale. On one side is competitiveness, on the other side is fun. If you want to be more competitive, you have to take away the fun. If you want more fun, you have to take away the competitiveness. Again, purely my opinion, because some people find fun in competition. Like that's perfectly fine. It's normal even. Maybe I'm the one who's abnormal. But for me, the more competitive you get at a certain at anything really, the less fun it becomes, because at that point it becomes like an obsession to become better day in and day out. You have to become better. You have to become the best. Otherwise, why are you competing at that point? And if you are playing something to a point of obsession, where every day you're just doing this out of obligation, then how is that still fun? That's no longer fun. That's that's something else. So yeah, that's my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. In fact, I welcome it. That's why I don't do any kind of competitive games, because games are meant to be fun. At the end of the day, no matter what, games are meant to be fun. That's literally the definition of game. A means to have fun, right? And if you take the fun out of the game, you shouldn't even be playing anymore, because that's not a game at that point. It's something else. So yeah, what I do enjoy in Pokemon though is collecting. So I like just filling the Pokedex. That's why the fact that Gen 8 is not going to have a complete Pokedex really bothers me. I won't be able to get that satisfaction with collecting all of the Pokemon. Oh my god, what the hell happened here? This guy did not meet a good end. Oh jeez. Hey look, a flawless emerald. Something that's not an amber. Cool. Alright. So, I like collecting, I like battling NPCs, of course. To some extent, I like battling some of my friends, just for fun. Nothing too competitive, we're just doing it for fun. You know, nobody cares who wins or who loses. We don't keep score or anything. We do that sometimes. Yeah, I'm done, by the way. We are going back. We're going back to Skellige up here. Just to maybe sell off some stuff. I'm going to do that off screen. So yeah, another aspect of Pokemon that I really like is the whole post-game. I really like post-game in Pokemon because for those of you who have not played, and also for those of you who have played, usually in the post-game, since basically Generation 3, so since 15, 16 years ago, there has been this kind of like Pokemon Battle Tower kind of deal, where you can just win battles, go up the tower, and just keep on, the tower will keep on getting more and more challenging. Everything is equalized, so you can't over level your opponents or anything like that, so you're all locked at a certain level, whether that be 100 or level 50. And then you just keep on going and just see how far you can go. As soon as you lose, you have to start from square one. So I love that aspect. So in Gen 3 you had the Pokemon Tower and the Battle Frontier. In Generation 4 there was another Pokemon Tower, Battle Tower, sorry. And then in Generation 5 it was, I think, the Subway. In 6 it was the Battle Mansion? Was it Mansion? Chateau? No, it wasn't the Chateau. The Chateau was something else. Yeah, I think it was the Battle Mansion. And then in Generation 7 there was the Battle Tree. I'm really looking forward to what Generation 8 brings. As for this kind of post-game, if it doesn't have any of that, I'm going to be super duper upset. Because now not only are you taking away my fun of collecting all the Pokemon, you're also taking away my fun of having a true post-game. So please, I'm begging with all of my heart right now that we have a decent post-game in Generation 8. Anyways, I think I've rambled on for long enough. Yeah, that was an episode mainly about the games of my childhood, and Pokemon was definitely a big one. So yep, that's basically it. Next time we come back, I would have done a lot of inventory management. I need to sell off a lot of things, and then we'll probably do the Hjalmar side quest on Unfix. That's gonna be fun. So yep, look forward to it. Thanks for watching this time, guys. I'll see you in the next one.